Hello everyone, welcome to another video in which I don't sound like I'm the founder of the Mickey Mouse fan club. Today I thought we'd put 30 Spirit Jellyfish against Radagon and see what happens. For some reason, when you spawn these guys in a group, they have an extremely bright light that comes from them, so it's a little bit blinding in areas. Sorry if you're struggling to see here or there, but I'm sure we'll be fine. So we're starting out with unupgraded Spirit Jellyfish ashes, and we'll increase the upgrade as time goes on as we get through the rounds. I really wish I could figure out how to do something about the HUD elements here. Pretty much the only things I can find is to turn the entire HUD off, but then we lose Radagon's health bar. So I want to keep the HUD on. There is a mod that kind of minimalizes the HUD, but doesn't really make much difference. A lot of the elements are still there, so it's kind of easier just to leave it on. It's not too much bother, it really doesn't fuss me that much. But I've seen some videos where people have managed to spawn boss against boss, and I can do that, but I can't seem to figure out how to get the other health bar on screen. Maybe at some point I'll figure that out, or I could just do it without the health bar so we can make some cool NPC battles like this. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Radagon's going to win this fight, but they did a decent amount of damage to him considering. I think it's kind of because in the first phase with Radagon, he doesn't do a bunch of sort of area attacks, he kind of just melees, so he's just getting clapped by a lot of these sort of projectile attacks that the jellyfish do, but they died pretty quickly, a couple of attacks and he gets them done. God knows where that projectile from Radagon was going there. I guess maybe he has like control over it while it's in the air or something like that, I don't know. So I didn't commentate the last NPC battle that I did, but I thought I would with this one. Lucky you, it must be your birthday or something. So they did around 3,700 damage to him. And you can see the poison ticking along there, but that's not going to get him killed. So I bumped this up to the second upgrade here. And yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what happens. So again, he's off with those melee attacks. For anybody who's struggled to beat this boss first time you fought him, this might be comical. Just to see a bunch of jellyfish spitting on him. He kind of deserves it. Alright. So you can see they're doing a lot more damage already. I don't think he's killed any of them yet, which is kind of crazy. Just like Nikado Avocado's food, Radagon never saw it coming, man. Alright. So they've about equaled what they did to him in the first round. Pretty decent. If you have any recommendations that you would like to see when it comes to these NPC battles, put them in the comments. Maybe I'll try to make it happen. I've got a couple more ideas that I'd like to run through doing this. I think I might do one with Melnir next. It's kind of fun to do this with some of the game's toughest bosses. The early bosses, I feel like, would be a little bit underwhelming. Okay. So in some areas of this fight, you can see Radagon sort of deflecting attacks, and it kind of lets you see how much BS that defense he has is, because these guys are spitting like 30 projectiles a second at him, and he just blocks all of them. We'll see if we can see it in a minute, but if you've fought against Radagon, you might have been through that yourself with him. Like, you'll shoot something at him, maybe a magic attack, and he just bats it away. Because of the amount of attacks coming at him right now, you can kind of see how overpowered that is. I'm pretty sure I got it in one of the fights, but he literally just blocks every single attack that's coming at him. Even if it isn't in this video. I did cut out a few of these fights when I got to the point where the jellyfish were getting the upper hand on Radagon. I kind of just skipped to the highest upgrade available, just so you don't have to sit through several fights where you know what the outcome's going to be. But you can see this is what, +2, and they've already taken him all the way down past halfway. He's probably got about just above a third health left now. When he gets into that second phase, he does a lot more attacks that spread across different areas. So he was still taking poison damage here, but it wasn't going to be enough to kill him, so on to the next round. +3 then. You can see the amount of damage has come up so much further. Just from a few little upgrades. I think the Spirit Jellyfish actually have like a really high HP meter. They do have a lot of health compared to other ashes, even on these low upgrades. But that light makes it really difficult to see when there's a group of them heal. I would like to do something like where I had, I don't know, 100 Spirit Jellyfish ashes, but the mod I have that allows you to sort of modify the ashes only lets you go up to about 30 that you can spawn. After that point, the game just doesn't spawn anymore. You might see in some places that the jellyfish's frame rate is like really low, especially when they die. I think it's also got something to do with like when I'm further away from any of the NPCs, it kind of gets a bit laggy and stuff. But it's fine. I don't know if you saw it there, but you saw him deflect like 5 projectiles at once with his defense. Here we go, he's about to start doing those area attacks that do a hell of a lot more damage. I'm pretty sure in this fight they had him really low. And quite close to killing him. But yeah. I hope he enjoys getting spat on. Because this boss drove me crazy when I fought him for the first time. Kind of interesting to see how this stuff works. Basically the mod that I'm using here allows you just to change what spawns with certain spirit ashes. And you can spawn whatever you want pretty much. So if you wanted to, you could change like one of the ashes to spawn a boss. So I can do boss versus boss fights. It's just not... They kind of act a bit weird when you do it sometimes. Like you don't get all the phases, so I need to figure out what boss fights are going to work. And bosses that don't have separate phases, or at least phases where they completely change, say like Mjolnir, where she sort of changes form completely. That one's going to be tough to do unless I go to the area that she's in and use that version of the boss fight and then edit another summon to spawn something else in. You can also do crazy stuff like you can have any boss, or pretty much any boss, as kind of like a follower. They'll sort of just follow you around and fight with you. You can also make it so that you can summon them anywhere if you want to. I'm not really too interested in modifying stuff to help me with the game. I feel like there's enough stuff in this game to make you incredibly OP if that's what you want to do. But I kind of enjoy doing stuff like this. I used to do stuff like this with Skyrim, and it's kind of fun to do it with Elden Ring as well. The way the modding scene has come forward is actually crazy. It's come forward pretty fast, and it's a little more complicated to install mods on this game than in other games, in my experience. But I guess that's because Skyrim's been around for so long, so the whole process of getting mods into the game has been like streamlined for so many years, and also the engine for Bethesda games is pretty similar between games. Not identical, but somewhat similar, so I guess people have like an idea of the structure of games and stuff. And I kind of guess that plays a role in modding this game as well, because of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that. Although there's far less modded stuff that you see for Bloodborne. Some people do some things, but it kind of involves, I guess, modifying a PlayStation game, which is a lot more tricky than anything on PC, you know? So they actually managed to stun him there. Take him down to his knee. But they are getting very close to beating him now. I'm proud of my little jellyfish boys. Like I said, I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be something with Mjolnir. I might look up some bosses that are notoriously difficult to beat. I have beaten a lot of the bosses in the game, but there's definitely quite a few that I haven't taken on yet. Okay. This attack is absolutely horrible to avoid when you're fighting this guy. That sort of triple slam attack. You kind of need to get close and figure out which direction he's going to go in. So right here, I think we broke him. He was kind of just spinning around, questioning life, asking what we're doing to him or something like that. But he was close to dying here. But the poison wore off. I thought I'd just show that the poison did do a bunch of damage to him, but it wore off around here somewhere, I think. There we go. Okay, so on to +5 then. So for anybody who has followed me on Twitch recently, I just want to apologize for not streaming over the last, like, probably 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And for anybody who is from my stream, who watches my videos as well, I am sorry for not streaming. I have been super busy, but I also got a certain virus that wasn't a lot of fun. So I've been on the mend from that, but I am back and all better now. But essentially, again, for anybody who's curious, it's not particularly important, but I was sort of stuck at my girlfriend's place. I couldn't come home to my setup where obviously I stream, because I didn't want to get anybody sick. So you can see there, I don't know if you caught it, but that was Radagon blocking about 50 projectiles at once. It's crazy how fast he can block stuff. This fight honestly isn't too bad. Well, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for how fast he can throw those shards of light, those little shards of light that take chunks of your health away. A lot of his attacks are actually quite slow and easy to dodge. And I feel like a lot of bosses in Elden Ring have this sort of super delayed attack. So you're watching them, unless you're using a shield, in which you can just stand there and throw your shield up. Although, you know, with magic attacks, you can't negate all of the damage. Or maybe there's a way you can, I don't know. So if you try and roll away from it and just dodge at the right time, you can definitely get baited and just get screwed over. Oh, looks like the jellyfish are having him here. Let's go. That attack, man. Those attacks are difficult to avoid sometimes. Some of them you have to jump over, but a lot of them you can roll and just avoid. Alright. Jellyfish have got the upper hand. What is this, +5? They've done well, they've done well. So, now that we know that the jellyfish can win, the +5 upgrade, I bumped this up to the +10 upgrade just to see how long it takes to beat him. I also included the Elden Beast that comes after this fight, just to see if the same jellyfish could take the Elden Beast out as well. Yeah, look how much damage they're doing at level 10. It's actually crazy. They've already done more damage than they did in stage 1. Just like my hopes and dreams, Radagon doesn't stand a chance. Yeah, I don't think he managed to kill even one of the jellyfish here. They do have a crazy amount of HP. And it's nuts to think that this is the first Spirit Ash you get. I have heard some people say that it's actually a really useful one. I mean, look at that. Look at that BS. You see him blocking all of that? Actually really annoying. But I've heard some people say that the jellyfish are actually a really good Ash in the beginning if you get them upgraded, just because they live for so long and they can sort of distract the boss's attention for you. Alright, Elden Beast then. Same jellyfish, I didn't load in anymore. I think the video got a little bit buggy in areas here, so I sort of cut a chunk of it out, but you can see how much damage they're doing to him already. So, I will be back to streaming today, hopefully. So for anyone who's interested, when you want to put a little bit of hair on your chest, come on over to the live stream at twitch.tv/ifreams. I think today I'm going to be playing some Ghostwire Tokyo, but obviously you might be watching this video at some point in the future. So that might not be the case, but there you go. They managed to take out the Elden Beast as well. So like I mentioned, if you have suggestions, put them in the comments. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. If you want to support the video, you know what to do. Yeah, that's about it from me. I'll see you next time.